Alright, so time to talk through the Darth Vader TIE Advanced variants. A number of different variants here and some different features. So generally speaking, the major thing that happens with this guy is that you can open the cockpit and then you can also slide back this portion of the ship to see part of the engine. Those are really the only two major things that this does, but there are some pretty cool aspects to this and the actual figure in and of itself. So I'll start first with just this big version. So this is one of the original versions, original releases. This is pretty big. You can obviously see the size comparison relative to the smaller version. Now, this has the same functionality. Pull back the thing to expose the engine, and then the cockpit opens. So with Vader, the ones that you get with this, you typically get a Darth Vader, and you would get also a TIE pilot, TIE fighter pilot. So these guys. And Vader typically comes with a removable cape. So in the large version, the one interesting thing is the I can't really get this guy out of here because it's kind of stuck in there, but you can see that he's actually in a seated position, and there is a little gap there for the cape to sit down inside, so that way he can be seated inside of the cockpit. This is on the big version. On the smaller version, that gap is actually big enough that he can stand in it. So if you try to put just the cape in, it doesn't really work. The gap is too big, and so it'll just flop around inside of there. But you can actually stand him up inside of the cockpit. So that's one of the interesting differences between the two. There's also just a little bit of a clasp here on the front of the cockpit hood there versus this one that doesn't have it. It's just flat and sits down there. So those are the differences between the big and the small version. These are both the clean version, so you can see there's no weathering on these on the front at all. And then you have in the smaller version, you've got a couple different types. So in the standard release, you would have this dirty version here, which has got the weathering on it. You can see the weathering on the front. And then the bottoms are basically the same. Nothing really different there. The bottoms. Comes with the same figures, same features. Nothing else is different. You then have the two damaged versions. So this is the HASBRO 2003 release. You can see just the exposed part of the wing on there. This does not come with any figures. The mold is the exact same as the standard dirty version. You can see the front there. Again, we'll compare this relative to the clean one. There's the bottom. So there's only just the damage to this one wing right here. The other wing looks pretty normal. And then you have the transforming Death Star playset version, which has a lot more damage. So this one you can actually see the wing, there's actually parts missing out of it. This one is actually really cool with the amount of detail that they did on it. Again, you can get this engine part to slide back. This one's just pretty tight. Cockpit opens, no little clip on there to clip it shut. And then there's what the bottom of it looks like. Again, same, just only the damage to the one wing, but here is the difference between again, this is the 2003 release. This is the one that came with the transforming playset. You then have the, this is the Galactic Battles version. So this comes with this black stand, and it also comes with an X-Wing. It's got this pewter finish to it. This is a really cool looking model. You can see that there on the bottom. This comes with 2 figures. It does come with Vader and the TIE pilot. I typically just keep both of them inside the cockpit just to make sure I keep everything together. But here's basically what he looks like. Again, that pewter version. There's his cape, and then here is your TIE pilot, TIE fighter pilot. So pretty cool version. Again, all of the same functionality as the normal one. Slide back to see the engine. Yeah, nothing really different there other than the finish. And then you have your flight controller. So this one actually comes with the big version. So again, here is your size comparison between the, pull this thing off of here, the small version and the big version. But this one does have some of the weathering on it. So now if we're looking at the 2 clean versions together, or the 2 big versions together, you got your clean one here on the top, dirty one there on the bottom. So you can see again the weathering there on the front. The wings on the side are basically the same. There's no difference there. And then on the underneath of these, it's the same, no difference. With the flight controller, it does come with this little targeting thing. It has 2 little lasers in it. So the one interesting thing about this, you can see with those laser holes, this makes like the Y-shaped laser. So the TIE Interceptor that I looked at earlier and I showed in another video actually has the plus lasers, the plus shaped lasers, so they are not interchangeable. Also, when you pull the trigger on this guy, the light turns on, similar to the other one. And then it has some, you know, different features that it runs through when you push on the buttons here.
I have you now. Stay in attack formation. The force is strong with this one. The force is strong with this one.
And those are the basic sound functions of this. It does come with a gold stand with the TIE Interceptor. It comes with the black handle here, but this is actually just all blacked out. It doesn't have the gold on there. There is a secondary version of this. I've got it coming actually. There is Vader inside of the cockpit, seated. Like I was saying with the big version, you can do it with that. Do it that way. There is a version that comes with actually a fold-out paper trench, and then it comes with 2 Micro Machine X-Wings, so that you could basically fly this thing down and shoot the lasers out and knock the X-Wings off, which is pretty cool. I don't have that version currently in hand, but I do have it on the way. So there is all of your Vader TIE Fighter variants. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and thanks for watching.